Alright, welcome. Here's the LFS 7.7 install. Okay. The install um works. Yeah, it works. Um I'm actually making this video after I've made the videos, and they're up to YouTube right now. But yes, they all work. I have done dry runs. Okay. This whole project has taken me about working on at least 3 weeks now, from cracking open the book, doing some dry runs, failing like a lot. A lot of my fails are just user error. I get cross-eyed and screw up on syntax. Um, I've had some erroneous Murphy's Laws errors that happened to me, such as I had a blinky router I had to replace. Um, had I was all over Wi-Fi, and things would happen, and it would drop connection. I wouldn't be able to get back into the my host machine. Just stupid stuff. And then towards later on, even that was today, probably a few hours ago now, I had a storm come, knock out power. Okay, blah blah blah. All right, so that's the rundown of what you're going to see in these videos. There are a lot of videos, but I try to keep them a little smaller this time. With every version of LFS, I try to keep them at least in the realm of 10-15 minutes. Okay, not like my first tunes where I was doing 3-hour vids. Okay, what has changed? There are a few changes, but not much really. Okay, there's a few added packages that we have to do. And what I do in this particular LFS series, I try to be as in depth as I possibly can. Okay, now I'm installing this LFS version to a 32-bit Pentium 4 computer. Now, 64-bit, you guys can follow me as well. I decided to do a 32-bit because I haven't made a video about a 32-bit in quite a bit. Wow, bit in two aspects. Okay, so I do go through the whole process of installing 32-bit, but as well I point out the parts where if you are running a 64-bit, you need to pay attention. I point them out very detailed. Okay. Okay. Build time. My machine specs on this are 1 gig. Is 1 gig. Slightly under 1 gig. Okay. Build times for me, kid you not, is about 2 days with 1 gig. Okay. My SBUs range, I think they're about 5 to 1 SBU. 5 minutes to 1 SBU, something like that. Okay. So if you have more gigs, rock and roll. Probably cut that down. But that's the machine I decided to install on. I'm going to be installing via SSH. Okay, you can skip that part if you want to. It's in the host prep. Okay, you can skip those parts if you're not doing SSH. Okay, I also give a brief on how to install my host operating system. In this case, I'm using Ubuntu 14.04 to install my host operating system. 14.04.2 LTS. Okay, and why I chose Ubuntu. It's something that I do believe that many people will have around or have access to get. Okay, you don't have to go through some crazy private server to get it or anything else like that. Okay, it's the biggest Linux operating system, so I assume that people can readily go get this operating system. Okay, now I do install 32-bit, so I have to download a 32-bit image. Okay, ISO. But if you're installing 64-bit, download your 64. You can follow me all the way. I do point out what you need to do in order for 64, and it's not a lot. It's not a lot at all. Just a couple case statements. Okay. Usage on this machine. The usage on this LFS version on a Pentium 4 actually surprised me. At the very end, you'll see that I only use about 5 megabytes of RAM. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. That's all I have to say about that. There is still a problem with logging in. If you remember in my previous videos, in the login, I had to do a separate post install because you would go to login and it would say bin bash not found or something else like that. Okay, but regardless, whatever the error was, whatever the error said, I was not able to log in. Go figure, right? I attribute this to Shadow and how I configure my passwords. I don't know why. It's probably user error, but I've experienced it in the last 5 LFS versions that I've done. So, and it's a real pain in the butt. But I show you how to fix it, okay? And I show you how to fix it in the midst of all kind of chaos and calamity going on around me. Like I said, well, my handy dandy software recorder device, my phone, um, well, I used up all the memory as far as all my storage capacity was gone, so I couldn't make any videos on my phone. I had a storm come. It was, blowing 60-mile-an-hour winds. My router blinks a couple times. My computer just acted completely stupid while I was in the LFS environment. Okay, I could not log into any TTYs besides the one that I had with the no clear. Reason being is when I copied my TTYs down, I forgot to change some numbers on them. So TTY numbers were actually all the same, so everything was like TTY3. Okay, I had TTY1, no, it was TTY2. Okay, so I had 2 TTY2s. So when I try to log into TTY2, it would fail and then restart TTY2 and fail again. So that's an issue that we will resolve later on in the process. So there are a lot of videos, but they're short and they're descriptive. So if you guys need the help, here it is, and let's go.